Because thou art, because thou art all beauty and all bliss, my soul blind and enamored yearns for thee. It bears thy mystic touch in all that is, and thrills with the burden of that ecstasy. Behind all eyes I meet thy secret gaze, and each voice I hear thy magic tune. Thy sweetness hunts my heart through nature's ways. Nowhere it beats now from thy snare immune. It loves thy body in all living things. Thy joy is there in every leaf and stone. The moments bring thee on their fiery wings. Sight's endless artistry is thou alone. Time voyages with thee upon its prow, and all the future's passionate hope is thou.
Can we just talk about this poem a little bit, because it means so much to me. Because thou art, and all the future's passionate hope is thou.
Yes. I think it concerns their work in the world of uplifting humanity and everything towards a greater light, and always a progressive attitude of receiving the light of truth in one's consciousness. And they expected things to become better. I think they had become better, and in a way they are going ahead. That is why the future's passionate hope is the manifestation of the supreme truth, and here through the mother, because we have seen her transmit the true consciousness in different ways for different individuals. We used to go for doing our pranam to her in a secluded area. The whole queue would move. One by one we used to enter and do our namaskar. Some would take flowers, some would take something for her. And for each one, she would do whatever would make the person feel that which is right in him or her, so that every part of one's consciousness turned gradually towards that truth in oneself. I think that's what is our work, and that which Mother encouraged in us. I don't remember if I had spoken about this to you. I had asked the mother one day, Mother, what is divine's love? because we were studying Mother's prayers and meditations, and there all the time she is speaking of the divine's influence and divine's love. So Mother stepped back, and I saw her standing in a column of light, and she said, "This is divine's love." So that which joins us to the Supreme Consciousness is divine's love.
I asked my wife, Mary Helen, did Mother speak to you? And she said, no, we never spoke. We only looked at each other.
Yes, because through her gaze, in any case, we were young, so we were allowed to ask questions, any question that came to our mind. She was sort of bringing us up. And if we had a doubt, she would clear it. But otherwise, we knew that she was giving us, she would look into the eyes and she would go deep within, and oneself, we could feel where she was. Her look was in our heart and even in the lower centers. So she would look and with that gaze, she would put us in touch with our truth. She used to come on the first of every month to the area which is the first entrance to the ashram on the first floor. It was called Prosperity, and each sadhak received a box in which he had asked for something for the month. Always there would be naturally soap and other material, chit pad and things like that. And Mother gave an incense stick to, if I remember, she gave an incense stick to the men, and she gave a toffee, a sweet, to the women, or something like that. There was a difference that she made. And she said, women give themselves easily. If they have decided to lead the ashram life, they give themselves whole. The men have other contacts and responsibilities which they had taken care of, the memory of what they have done, adults. So they had to draw that in, and Mother gave them a red rose because they had to collect their vibrations towards the divine's love. So I think there was a question that was asked, why do you give to the men the red rose and to the women the lighter colored? In answer to that.
What was Sri Aurobindo's look like for you?
It was personal and vast, both at the same time. When we went for darshan, and we looked at the Mother first, and did our pranam, and then we looked at Sri Aurobindo. I told you the story of the day when there was a curtain full of gold and silver thread, a huge dragon And I was 13 or 14 years old. I found it so striking that I only looked at I had done my pranam. I looked at that and Sri Aurobindo said, she likes beautiful things. So, and I was chosen by him to do the role of Savitri in 1949. So I was reading it, and one darshan I remember, he smiled very benignly. When I turned to him, automatically the line came, I have seen the eternal in a human face. I said that line, and he smiled quite benignly. I had just read it in the poem.
Yes.
So I hadn't thought of anything. I turned from mother to him and I said, I have seen the eternal in a human face. So that was the very best. This is really a little above our level of thinking and feeling, but I'll try my level best.
Is it above the level of our understanding also?
Understanding, there are different types of understanding. There's the understanding with the mind, there's the understanding with the senses, there's the understanding with the feeling of the heart. And you say, yes, I have understood, but actually it is just a sort of receptivity to a vibration that you have got. It is not a mentalized thinking. So the divine sense is more material than the thinking, but it is joined to the higher levels. That's what he's saying here. This sonnet is entitled Divine Sense. Surely I take no more an earthly food, but eat the fruits and plants of paradise. For thou hast changed my senses' habitude from mortal pleasure to divine surprise. Hearing and sight are now an ecstasy, and all the fragrances of earth disclose a sweetness matching in intensity odor of the crimson marvel of the rose. In every contact's deep invading thrill that lasts as if its source were infinite, I feel thy touch. Thy bliss imperishable is crowded into that moment of delight. The body burns with thy rapture's sacred fire, pure, passionate, holy, virgin of desire.
Sri Aurobindo often praises the rose. He often praises the rose,
Yes, yes,
the marvel of the rose.
yes.
And he has horns on the rose.
Rose of God,
Yes,
vermilion stain on the sapphires of heaven.
yes.
Rose of bliss, fire sweet, seven tinged with the ecstasies seven.
You remember it all?
No, I don't remember the whole. I had recited it one year. That's how I remember. In the school, I had recited it 1 year. So they might be having a recording.
So, Sri Aurobindo says the rose is amongst the most beautiful of flowers. But then he says all flowers are beautiful.
Yes, that's. Oh, actually said that. Yes. Mother had explained to us the plant, and Mother said that the flower is the primitive, almost elementary response to the psychic being, psychic vibration of the plant. It is the plant's response to a psychic vibration. So the flower petals are soft and tender, and they seem to emit a light, the light of the sun reflected through the plant and the flower that reaches us. And Mother, there is a vibration, so very often I used to hold a flower and just not touch it, bring my hand close to it, and you could feel the vibration. And I felt that Mother's significance of flowers depends very much on that, on the quality of the response of the flower of the plant to the psychic world. And that is the flower.
Sri Aurobindo has written, flowers are the moment's representation of things that are in themselves eternal.
Yes, naturally, you would be knowing that much more than us, and give us some more opening to the flower kingdom. Moments. In perfect moments, on the peak of things, these taps of knowledge, greatness, ecstasy, are only moments. This too, enough could be. I have assumed the rapid flaming wings of souls, whom the ignorance black-robed nature brings, and the frail littleness of mortality can bind not always. A high sovereignty makes them a while creations, radiant kings. These momentary upliftings of the soul prepare the spirit's glorious permanence. The peace of God, a great still transience, is now my being's boundless atmosphere. All parts are gathered into a timeless whole. All moments moments last in an eternal year.
Why does he call it black-robed nature?
I think because it is not conscious of itself. It is what it is, that's all. Man turns back onto himself. We turn back onto ourselves. We do something, we feel something, and then we turn back to look at. Whereas nature doesn't. She's just.
So when we have an experience, it is only a moment.
Yes.
Yes.
But for him it became an eternal.
Exactly.
Yes. I think Sri Aurobindo has spoken about this experience he had when he had been to the Himalayas and he was working at the Gaikwad of Baroda's place, and the Gaikwad had gone to the Himalayas and Sri Aurobindo had attended him, and for those few weeks or months he had served as his secretary. Because somebody said as secretary to the Gaikwad, for some reason or another, Sri Aurobindo said, no, I acted as one only when he went to the Himalayas. And in some other place, he says, at that time he had this experience of the one unique in the whole world. I will try and find out, because either in the evening talks or in one letter, he has written about this experience. Advaita. I walked on the highway seat of Solomon, where Shankaracharya's tiny temple stands, facing infinity from time's edge, alone on the bare ridge, ending earth's vain romance. Around me was a formless solitude. All had become one strange, unnameable, an unborn soul reality, world nude, topless and fathomless, forever still. A silence that was being's only word, the unknown beginning and the voiceless end. Abolishing all things, moments seen or heard, on an incommunicable summit reigned a lonely calm and void, unchanging peace on the dumb crest of nature's mysteries.
I'd like to ask
Too
if
difficult.
you could talk a little bit about the seat of Solomon. He speaks-
Seat of Solomon. I think I had studied it, but I have forgotten about it. He was the supreme judge at that time, isn't it? His word was the final word. Wisdom, wisdom complete, Solomon. Any problem they took to him, he gave the answer. That is what is said in the Bible. No, Solomon's.
And Shankaracharya's tiny temple was there. He speaks of Shankaracharya's tiny temple.
Where Shankaracharya's tiny temple stands.
Yes.
Yes, I had heard about it. I think I have seen a photograph, but I'm not very sure. It is a tiny temple compared to the other temples of India. I don't think it is much higher than this one floor, you know. This floor and then above that a crest. So it is very small compared to other temples. I should try and find out. I think he has written or spoken about it somewhere else. In the evening talks or in answer to Purani's question. He has spoken of it. And at that time he has also spoken of this poem, Advaita. I find out. This sonnet refers to the external appearance of things. The name is a little confusing. That is why I spoke of its meaning. Form. O worshipper of the formless infinite, reject not form. What lives in form is he. Each finite is that deep infinity enshrining his veiled soul of pure delight. Form, in its heart of silence recondite, hides the significance of his mystery. Form is the wonder house of eternity, a cavern of the deathless eremite. There is a beauty in the depths of God. There is a miracle of the marvelous that builds the universe for its abode. The One, in his glory multitudinous, bursting into shape and color, like a rose, compels the great world's petals to unclose.
But it's very beautiful. So the formless takes form, and Sri Aurobindo doesn't want us to deny form.
Yeah, he feels the presence even in small things.
Now, Mother has spoken of her new body, the supramental body that she is building now in the subtle physical with Sri Aurobindo. He also told us that he may come in 300 years in the new body built in the supramental way. Can you share some thoughts?
Well, the mother has given us the assurance that he is present
Yes.
and is working with and within everyone and in the outside world. It is entirely our perception, depends upon our perception, how conscious we are of that presence behind the form, behind the outer form. Like some people just look at flowers or look at plants and just go away. It is nothing to them, they are seeing it every day. But for others it is something alive which likes a little touch of understanding and gentleness that you feel emanating from the flowers touches you. Then you are a sensitive person, sensitive at that level. Whereas you might be thoughtful and the inconscient foundation. My mind beholds its veiled subconscious base, all the dead obstinate symbols of the past, the hereditary molds, the stamp of race are upheld to sight. The old imprints effaced. In a downpour of supernal light, it reads the black inconscient's enigmatic script, recorded in 100 shadowy screeds, and inert worlds obscure, enormous drift. All flames is torn and burned and cast away. There slept the tables of the ignorance. There the dumb dragon edicts offer sway, the scriptures of necessity and chance. Pure is the huge foundation left, and nude, a boundless mirror of God's infinitude.
I'd like to ask about the dragon edicts. The dragon edicts of her sway.
I think it is the enigmatic condition of everything that has to be has already been written or is already there, and we, the human beings who are molds of time, grow through our time-born minds towards a greater and greater fulfillment. But the final word is already there. How far we will reach depends upon our own capacity, receptivity, and effort. And of course, that is where the mother's influence and the mother's help. She would look and she would know which part of ourselves was ready to grow upward and not be concerned on the ground level with the things. And I was reading in one of Sri Aurobindo's letters, he has said that that is the reason why the ashram is based on work, karma yoga. When you work not for earning your living or not for supporting your people, but you are working for the community guided by the mother. So we used to always say, we are working for mother. And mother was the instrument of the divine through whom the right attitude and the right light would flow in and into each one of us according to our receptivity. So, as I was saying, he has said that he based the ashram on karma yoga because the external body would be effective through bhakti, through devotion, because you are not working for yourself, you are working for the place and for the mother. And you gain in knowledge, jnana, because you have never done such things with yourself. So it was called the ashram of integral yoga. Mind, life and body all were included in the sadhana.
Is this the reason possibly why Mother gave some very high people the work of cleaning dishes?
Yes. And they always enjoyed the work because Mother was giving it. There was a gentleman who was whose specialization was physics, but he was doing the washing of the dishes. And the one in charge of work in the ashram, distributing the work, used to always send, as per Mother's indication, to work in the dining room so that they know what all goes behind the food that they get. So, and washing the dishes and all that was part of the whole. We did not have a washing machine at that time. So he used to say, I like it very much. Why are you still going on doing this work? I like it very much. I get a sort of physical touch of other people's physical consciousness or something like that, he said. He liked it.
I have a very funny story about Huta. I was very close to Huta.
Acha.
And one day she says to this man, why don't you do the spoons that I'm doing and I can do the dishes? And he said, I don't like spoons, I'll do the dishes. Now you said earlier that everything was already written down, everything was already written. Does that include the work of the dark forces also?
Of them?
Of the dark forces, the asuras?
Oh, dark forces, I won't know. We have always learned to try to surpass any dark force. But there are all types of dark forces at all levels of our being even the curiosity of other people of what is happening to this person is a dark force because it is none of their business. And instead of being curious about it, they have to ask either the person or the mother or whichever. So curiosity and eagerness to know things about other people about is also a dark force. But about things, it is different because we are entering the field of science there. We are trying to define what one physical thing is. A table made of wood, where does the wood come from? What is the shape of the table? And who made it? So the carpenter, all the sequence of events which from the log of wood lead to the table can be followed up. But that is science. That is our knowledge. But who has what sort of a table is curiosity, and it is of a lower category. The inner fields. There is a brighter ether than this blue pretense of an enveloping heavenly vault, a deeper greenness than this laughing assault of emerald rapture, pearled with tears of dew. Immortal spaces of cerulean hue are in our reach, and fields without the fault of drab brown earth, and streams that never halt in their deep murmur, which white flowers strew, floating like stars upon a strip of sky. This world behind is made of truer stuff than the manufactured tissue of earth's grace. There we can walk and see the gods go by and sip from Hebe's cup nectar enough to make for us heavenly limbs and deathless face.
Did Mother speak to you about the future world?
No, not actually. We knew she was preparing us through her attitude towards our work, even our play, our exercises, all that she had come down entirely on the physical plane to bring down the right attitude of touch of the spirit in life. And we would always wait to see what we had done had pleased her, or it was not quite up to the mark. You know, we understood by her look and by the help she gave. If it was not quite up to the mark, she would wait and see what is to be done by touching our hand and giving us a blessing, so that we know that next time we have to do better. I had a special relation with her because I used to work on the first floor of the ashram where she stayed. She didn't have her second floor room still. And we knew that she was working, she was in her room. So I had to carry the fruit bags and baskets and keep on the floor in the corridor, and Champaklal would pick them up for the mother's distribution. Thrice a week we had to do that. The other times a week, the fruit bags and baskets were kept elsewhere, and people would pick up their own bags and baskets. I think that was the arrangement, something like that. And I used to keep the tray on the floor of the carpet. We had covered the carpet with a cloth, long piece of cloth, on which I had placed the trays. So, and Champaklalji would pick up the tray and take it downstairs to the meditation hall thrice a week when mother would be distributing only those fruit bags and baskets. Others would take from the fruit room. So there were quite a few altogether, about 50 or so, to whom mother would give herself.
50?
About 50 or so, if not more. So there were bags and there were baskets. So I'm telling this story because I still remember I used to bring the tray, and one day Champaklal was taking the tray just then, as soon as I not placed trays and everything placed, and he would come and pick up. He was taking the tray just then. So one day when I went in with the tray, he was already there. He had left the other things downstairs. So he said, "Today I have beaten you hollow." He said, he put his hand up, "Today I've beaten you hollow." It was like that. He was very close to the mother and Sri Aurobindo's work also. I told you about the day when she asked Champaklal where she was feeling tired, whether she would go to work or rest.
And he said, work.
I told you about it.
Did Yuman ever bring the food?
But
Did Yuman ever bring the food up?
Yuman took mother's food tray. That was a different. This was about the fruits that mother would give to others.
Just the fruits.
Fruits. And Ravindra, who was an Ayurvedic expert of Ayurveda, Indian medicine, he used to prepare fruit juices for the mother of a special kind, I don't know. And mother used to take them from small little tumblers like that, decorative tumblers. And she had her food packet used to come from her own kitchen, which is on Rue Saint-Gilles, opposite the balcony on the northern side of the ashram. From the kitchen, Ambu, the asana expert, he used to carry mother's food tray, and he had a special key for one door, which we still see there, a doorway with a brass knob beside the garage gates. On this side, there's a doorway, and he had the key to it. He would open, and he came in through the inner staircase.
Oh, yes.
There's a staircase inside. He would come up. I was present because I used to work at Pavitra's office, first floor office. It had not yet come to the ground floor. So I'd see, and all if mother was late, I would be waiting for her in the corridor. So one day I was waiting for her in the corridor, and Ambu came in and said, "Move, move, the tray is very heavy today." So I had to move out, and Jivan would pick it up from Ambu and take it to the mother. And Pranab and mother would be upstairs for taking the midday meal.
How did Vijayadasini and Durga Puja start? How did they begin?
I don't really know any, but I remembered mother very, very strongly yesterday when I was looking into the TV and they were sort of celebrating, and you know, when there are so many people, the celebration becomes jostling and excitement. So I prayed, I said, let some of them at least have some sort of an inkling that there is a power above. But what was very interesting is that they told us that on the sixth day, they gave the Durga image a full bath, sort of, with the same given to Ganesh and Kartikeya. You know, Durga has Ganesh and Kartik beside her. And I think I told this story, I have told this story twice or thrice. Kartikeya on his peacock, peacock is his mode of conveyance, had gone round the world, and quite a few times, I think, and Ganesh was a little unhappy about it. He goes around, so then he knew. He said, he went around Durga and said, I've gone around the world. Going around Mother Durga. So in a way, Ganesh Thakur taught us how to look at Durga as the all-powerful deity. And Mother had told us that this tradition of her coming once a year is a real truth. And each time she comes, she slays one asura. And that time, that year, she said she came to kill the asura of depression. Because even if you don't succeed, you mustn't be depressed. You have to continue trying. And with the mother's help, it can come about. So, yesterday, while looking at the TV, I said, Mother Durga, this time slay the demon of dishonesty.
Wonderful.
Each year she comes to slay a demon. She chose a sari, usually in the mornings for the blessing hour. She used to come in a gown and veil. But on the puja days, this happened before 1950. Soon after 50. After 1954, she didn't give any special importance. But before 1950, on the puja day, she used to be in sari. And for Saraswati Puja, it was white sari with gold or silver border. For Durga Puja, it was bright red with gold flowers. For Lakshmi Puja, it was an emerald green with also, and for Kali Puja and Mahakali's day, it was deep red with gold. The sari color used to be different.